and a safe landing. Well, this is the very first video I'm doing for my brand new channel called as I thought to do something a little bit different, as the power is in your hands with this channel. With each like and subscription goal that gets hit, that will then spread my travel radius. So the more I get, the further I can travel for where I'm based. And of course, I love to hear from your experience and your recommendations in the comment section below. And if my second channel that I've created a fair few years ago is doing well and performing alright, then I'll include some additional tips and some other events that will be going around in that area. But as this is my first video, I will include some additional extras towards the end. But I do hope that the main goal gets hit, and that is just to spread awareness and help fellow travellers and even newcomers to appreciate what's actually around us. As for me personally, I've taken advantage of this for many years. But as this is the first video that I've created, I won't be travelling too far from where I'm currently based, but I will take you on a little journey to a place that is very dear to me. Kumkan Scenic Drive, which in Welsh it is spelled like this, and then in English it would sound more like this. Cwmcarn. Cwm is valley, and then Carn is the name of the river. Now this is home to one of these downhill mountain bike complex which attracts people around the world and does have a recently built £2 million visitor centre. So this is definitely getting more popular. And I do recommend taking that little drive around, which costs about £5 entry, but you do get that brilliant views. But here we're more interested in one of the big hills that are around in that area, which is Cwmcarn. Now being based where I'm from, in each corner of this city you can always see this little hill in the background, which kind of a lot of people do call it the pimple, or as I like to say is called the boob. It's always intrigued me to see what is actually out there, and we do have a local saying about if you're late for something or you do look absolutely shattered coming from somewhere, people would say, "Where have you been? To Cwmcarn and back?" There's definitely some brilliant South Walian history and some culture facts, but I'll explain a little more about that later when I get there. I will be staying there overnight, and I am on a tight budget. Again, this is my first video, so here's a couple of things I will be taking. Of course, I would like to hear your recommendations below. But let's see what I'm taking all together. Again, this is my first video. So first up is my carry-on rucksack, but it's not really travel graded, but it'll just do the job for £20. And then most important item is the self-inflating mattress. So I splurged quite a bit extra on that. Then I had a self-inflating pillow as well for just £8. Then I bought a picnic blanket which kind of worked as insulation and warmth for the tent. The tent itself was just from Tesco's for just £16 at a great deal at the timing of this video. And I bought a cheap hat, cheap glasses just to keep the sun out of my face. Some cheap daps, which also means trainers here, just for £20. And then I have a charger bank, which is great for these portable Retroid handhelds, which I will be reviewing on my other channel, because I do like my retro gaming on the go. Oh, and something very important, which is a sleeping bag, just £15. And gotta get my sneaky snacks for my journey across. And the weather is looking pretty awesome with just 20 degrees, partly cloudy all day and for the next day. And for the total price list of everything, just worked over just £100. Located just 25 minutes away from the Welsh capital Caerdydd or Cardiff, with bus routes from neighbouring city Castlanawydd, or Newport in English, landing close to the entrance, with the closest train service to Cross Keys with an extra 15 minutes walk. Checking in, I went straight to get some food. I was pretty hungry, and there was no chef, and they were experiencing staff shortages like everywhere else in the timing of this video, so I settled with some fake meat wrap and some baba breath just to fill me on my journey. Kumkan is known for its extensive mature forestry and greenery that attracts thousands of visitors and mountain bikers enthusiasts from around the world each year. Caravans and motorhomes are accepted, but there are minimal space available, for these roads are quite windy and quite tight, so I do recommend sticking to a motorhome if you were to go down that route. Car parking is just £1 for 2 hours or £3 for all day. Hitch hire is available for rent, or if you were a bit lazy and just wanted to get everything out of the way and done, glamour pods are available, and luxury lodges can be also rented. This site is not the biggest, but it does do the job. I personally would like to see further pitch rental space and better access for caravans. These luxury lodges do look like a real treat and seems you can put up to about 4 to 6 people at a time, but check out their website about that, and that could even the payment out so that'll bring the price down. And this place being so close to the capital, but yet in the midst of all this wild, seems like a great choice for people coming from abroad but getting both ends of this experience of this country. You are provided with an introductional leaflet, but I have to say the people that work there were pretty awesome, and I'm not just saying that. They are very welcoming and very helpful, and the lady did educate me on nearby alternate walks that do range in difficulty and length, with recommended routes depending on the season to find certain plants and flowers blossoming. There is also camping and bike equipment that you can hire, so you could turn up empty-handed. Shower and toilets, cooking and washing facilities are all there, with great parks for kids that are scattered pretty everywhere around this site. Kafili Adventures do also provide orienteering and water activities by the nearby lake. After some minor drama putting up this tent, which I failed to record, I finally got it up all and ready. This is my picnic blanket that I mentioned earlier, just for some extra cushion and warmth, and my groovy pillow. Yeah, the design looks a bit naff, but it was cheaper in that style, so that's why I went for that. A family member did pick this up, this cooking hob, a couple of years back, proper bargain at that price. Well, let's hope I do get that working later. Now, Kumkan is home to 3 surrounding hills, Mynydd y Grug, Mynydd Machen and Mynydd Maen, Tumbalam, which is the one I'll be taking you up. On the way to the lake, I then found out this wasn't really the best time to be here, with blocked access footpaths and certain roads being closed due to maintenance and building, but I'll find a way. Following the river on the right hand side, some people did manage to build somewhat of a man-made little bridge, which is great, did the job. And finally we are here. And now we can start the Tumbalam trial, where you will find the alluring Celt hill fort, which was recorded to have a battle for over 25 years with the Romans. And wow, that is a long time, but more info on that later on in this video. When we actually get to the top, you will then see views of Cardiff Bay up to Brecon. So we got a 2-mile distance taken about 2 hours at a leisurely place. Leisurely place? Well, I'll see about that, I'm pretty unfit. So anyway, let's get going. At this point though, I found there was no direction at all to progress, and none of them indicating which one is Tumbalam. So upwards and beyond, this is where the clouds started to disappear, and so did my unfitness started to show. I was getting pretty hot up there, and if you can see in the background, you will notice there's quite patchy of how the trees are missing. This was because in summer 2018, an area suffered a spate of extensive fires and were deliberately set and killed off a lot of plants, and a lot of trees were infected by a tree disease, killing off a lot of these. But not too long after, in 2019, they already started to replant and restore a lot of these patches due to local activist groups. So after getting somewhat lost quite a bit, I could finally see the pimple, or the boob as I like to call it, just in walking distance. And there's some local boys just chilling, doing their own thing. And now finally just a straight path to my goal, and I can see some civilization as well. Upon arriving at this main entrance, I could really feel what felt like a great presence was once home to a great tribe and hitting my native heartfelt home strings. It's a shame there is no indication or information up here, or any replicant living homes display, or just general information about the people that were here and what this place meant to them. The Silures, or the Silurians, were a powerful warlike tribe or tribal confederation of ancient Britain that would have spoken a Brythonic language that resembles close to Cymraeg, or Welsh as it's named in English. A time before the Romans, though they were coexistent and mixed with forceful integrations by the Romans. The Britain was originally split up into tribal areas that grew into county boroughs, which is now this area is called Gwent, and no, it's not that card game from the Witcher series. Apparently the people of Silurians were usually born with curly black hair. They were like Gauls that were found in North Portugal and Spain. The Silurians were not snubbed and waged effective guerrilla warfare against the Roman forces. Artorius, a Roman leader, died with the Silurians still unconquered. After his death they defeated the Second Legion. It remains still unclear whether the Silurians were militarily defeated or simply agreed to come to terms. Silurians were given some nominal independence and responsibility for their local administration, and was a standard practice as revealed by the inscriptions. The Romans matched their deities with local Silurian ones, later then developed as the 5th century Welsh kingdom of Gwent. Some theories concerning the King Arthur make him a leader in the area. There is evidence of cultural continuity throughout the Roman period from Silurians to the Kingdom of Gwent in particular, as shown by leaders of Gwent using the name Caradoc, in remembrance of the British hero Caratacus. With all these historical facts, it really questions me why on earth we don't have this more preserved in the area for tourist means and preservation, and or even just an information centre. British history personally fascinates me, but it's also very frustrating to get into, as this island does not show its native and ancient history like any other country in Europe, for an example, as it seems they are more open to share and preserve their own and creating somewhat of a tourism outreach. But to dwell into British history can be very complex and very hard to unveil. This is just my personal experience anyway. I did not study this into any university as a professional, so of course I love to hear your opinions and facts as well in the comment section below, so together we can both learn. Well, that's my history rant over with, and on my way back down to the campsite I could not help myself but check out this mini zipline, and the view was pretty great. And also a place where you can find where buying cheap trainers was a pretty bad idea. Anyway, let's head back to the campsite where I can give this £10 gas hub a good testing. And fingers crossed it works. Now to test out my sleeping gear and my new tent, after a pretty long day. Well, first things first, I gotta get my morning gaming fix, and to be honest, I could have had a better sleep as the mattress I found out was too long, could not fit in the tent properly, and air kept leaking throughout the night, to find out that there actually is two nozzles, one at the top and one at the bottom, and that one needed a little bit of tightening up and it would have been fine, but I wish I knew that before. The shower and toilet facilities I rate a good 3.5 out of 5. The showers had plenty of room and were very powerful and warm, which is the main thing that I needed. Now to pack everything up, which should be pretty simple, and head to the bus stop, which is another good 10 to 15 minutes walk to finally get some proper grub. Well, I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'm pretty excited to finally start making content about traveling. And of course, now you know the power is in your hands and where I'm available to go next. So as always, thanks for watching. And if you liked it, hit that button. If you want to support, click subscribe. Leave your comments below. And I catch you lot, hopefully, on my next video.